Good afternoon, teachers. Thank you for coming in early for our faculty meeting. As you know, we begin each year with a review of student rights that are provided under FERPA, the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act. I am sure you all watched the video link that I sent out earlier in the week, so we are just going to discuss a few high points of the process. As you know, parents have the right to inspect all educational records when they request to do so, so make certain you have current and up-to-date documentation at all times. A written release is required in order to release any information from the educational record. Also, homeroom teachers, be certain you collect all directory release forms from your homeroom students so we can update our records. Starting this year, students will have separate discipline and academic records to further protect their rights under FERPA.
Mr. Jones, can we still use peer grading in our classroom? Or does that violate student privacy?
That is an excellent question. Thank you for asking. For papers not held by the school, the Supreme Court has ruled that this is allowed in schools. So yes, you can have students exchange and grade papers, as this does not violate their student privacy rights. That brings us to our next topic we need to discuss today, student rights and the First Amendment. I know there are always a lot of questions about what is allowed or not allowed to be said or worn in school. When faced with a situation with a student, there are a few things you need to always consider. First and most important, remember that while students have rights to express their opinions, fighting words, true threats, hate speech and intimidation are never allowed in school. Still, students have the right to express their opinions even on controversial subjects, as long as it does not cause a substantial interference in the school day. As you face discussions and situations with students, think about the case of Tinker v. Des Moines School District and use that to guide your actions.
Mr. Jonesy, I'm not familiar with that case. How does that apply to dress code? I just had to discuss clothing choices with a student this morning.
In 1969, several students made a plan to wear black armbands to protest the Vietnam War. When the principals heard about the plan, they made a rule that you could not wear them. John Tinker wore one anyway and was suspended from school. The Supreme Court said that the rights to free speech were not to be abandoned at the schoolhouse door and that the armbands did not present evidence that there was a disruption in the school day. Therefore, the armbands should have been allowed.
So, how do we determine what is disruptive? I felt that a shirt was disruptive, but it didn't cause a disruption in class. That is hard to determine. If the shirt offends someone, then that can cause a disruption. Do I have to determine who is causing more of a disruption, the one with the objection to the shirt or the one wearing the shirt?
You are right. It is difficult, but we cannot suppress speech even if we do not necessarily agree with the viewpoint. Still, there are some clear guidelines that must be followed. No lewd or profane speech should be tolerated by any student in any situation. Additionally, no speech promoting drug use or hate speech will be tolerated in this school. Also, newspaper articles that might cause an issue can be edited out of the paper without a problem. But your original question was about dress code, was it not?
Yes, it was. Thank you for going back to my question. Are there any Supreme Court cases about dress code?
The Supreme Court has not ruled on the issue of dress code, but several lower courts have ruled on different issues regarding dress code. Basically, if it isn't disruptive to the school day, it isn't vulgar, and is appropriate in what is displayed, then we need to allow students to wear the shirt, even if we do not agree with the message of the shirt. But not if the shirt has messages supporting the use of illegal substances or activities. Was that in the shirt that you requested the student not wear?
It had a message that might be disruptive, but there was another issue with the shirt because you could see her midriff. I think it was disruptive, so I will let her know that she definitely should not wear the shirt again.
We really have to be careful, but I think that shirt would not be acceptable. Thanks for being so proactive with enforcing dress code even before this meeting. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. Remember, do not suppress the rights of the student, but there should not be disruptions in school. Have a great day of teaching and learning.